Hi, I'm Dave Purdy, founder and CEO of Wealth Management Midwest, and welcome to the July market commentary. And I wanted to kick things off and just talk a little bit about the market. Wow, it's been a real doozy. In fact, I just heard yesterday that they said it was the worst start to the worst 6 months start of a year since 1932. So it's been extremely volatile, and kind of along that line, I just want to say how grateful I am for our great client relationships and really the great relationships I have with our staff around here. You know, they come in, they work hard every single day, and it's been tough. I mean, these markets have been very, very volatile, and the author and speaker Tom Hopkins always says, you know, if somebody asks how you're doing, say unbelievable, because it covers both sides of the spectrum, unbelievable. And I wanted to talk a little bit about two things. When I founded Wealth Management back, it's going to be 35 years ago, this coming September, 35 years. Man, the time has gone by. We found the company, and I found the company on kind of some guiding principles. And two of those guiding principles, one is not salesmanship, but stewardship. And every day we wake up and come to this office, we work hard, my whole team does. It's always about being the best steward of the money, doing what's right, doing the best steward of being a good steward, not selling, being a good steward. And it's tough with these volatile markets, but that's one of our guiding principles. Another guiding principle is, I like to say, you know, the word management gets really, really overused in our industry. Everything's management. And I don't like to think about management. I like to think about leadership. And you say, gosh, you know, well, what's really the difference between management and leadership? And in how it pertains to our business here, you know, you've got leadership, and I can draw on my perspective from being in the business for close to 35 years. And I was thinking about, I'm going to go back now in time, back to the 1987, and I was actually working at a big printing company in Chicago. I was an account rep doing very, very well. And I decided to get into the investment business. And of course, to get into the investment business, you have to take all these tests and do all this studying and so forth. But I told the company I was going to be leaving, and they were hated to see me go, but they knew I was leaving. And I was studying for the test, and I'd go every night. I'd study for the test. Well, back on October 11th of 1987, we had the biggest market downturn in history at that particular time. The stock market fell 22% in one day. And to put that in perspective, if the market fell roughly that today, the Dow would go down 6,000 points. And I remember going to work the next day, and my old boss pulled me into his office and said, "Say, you know, I'm really kind of worried about you, because, you know, you're on the fast track to being very successful here. You're doing very, very well, and you're going to leave to get into this be a financial advisor, and, you know, the stock market's down 22%. It's probably, you know, A, people aren't going to want to invest any money, and B, you know, it's going to probably take years for the market to ever regain. And I don't think you should leave." And it's interesting, of course, as you guys know, I left, but by the end of the year, so that was in October, by the end of the year, the actual 1987, the market was actually up 2.2%. So the stock market went up 2.2%. That was after it was down 22% in October. So things do come back. And then I want to fast forward to just recently. When I say recently, I'm going to talk about the pandemic. That was just in March of 2020. And I remember watching CNBC, the constantly negative business channel, and they were saying, you know, we don't have a vaccine. It's going to be years. If they fast track it, 5 to 8 years, and the whole economy is going to come to a standstill, button down the hatches, because it's going to be something like you've never seen in your life. And 60 Minutes had a report. They said the Dow was going to 5,000. And I think it's interesting because, as you know, that was in 2020. In 2021, the stock market hit 70 new all-time highs. I mean, 70 new all-time highs in 2021. And they were saying it was going to take years and years and years to recover. So what does that tell you? It's interesting. So when I look back in history, if you go back to World War II, including the bear market that we're in now, there's been 14 bear markets, and that's when the market's gone down 20% or more. And we're in the midst of the 14th, but if you take the previous 13 bear markets, they've all come back and hit all-time highs. And so if I was a doctor and you were coming and you were saying, listen, you know, since World War II, I've had this illness, your patients, I mean, what's the recovery rate on this kind of a disease or whatever you've got? And I'd say, it's 100%. Those are pretty good odds, 100%. And I think that what people fail to realize is when the markets go down, so let's say somebody calls in yesterday and they say, I want to sell all my stuff. Every time you have a seller in this market, they get out of the market, they get out of the way, they can never sell again, ever. I mean, because they're out of the market. And so those sellers are gone. And so you get something like during the pandemic, the reason why after that market went down over roughly 30%, it zoomed up over 100%. And the reason why it went up was because all the sellers had gone. So to bid those prices up, it's almost like the housing market. They say that the reason why a lot of these houses are selling at premiums, it isn't because the houses are so great, it's just there's no supply, there's no sellers. And there's a really hard time, nobody's listing any houses, so that boosts the price. So looking through my glasses, you look at this market now, it's down substantially, everything's been beaten down, and a lot of these sellers are done and out of the way. I think we just have to be like Warren Buffett. We have to talk about time and patience. But you talk about time and patience. Sometimes somebody, like during the pandemic, a guy said to me, well, I don't want to wait 5 to 10 years to get my money back. And if I would have had a crystal ball, I would have said, well, don't worry, next year the market's going to hit 70 new highs, so you'll have all your money back sooner than you think. So I just think that we just want to keep on an even keel. Attached to this video is our market letter. In there's my phone number. You can call the office and talk to me. You can talk to outside of office hours. My cell number's there. You can call me at home. And the other thing is my staff's working hard every day. 8 o'clock to 4:30. If we can help in any way, we just want to be the best we can be the best stewards of your money, and also provide the best leadership we can. So, if you have any questions, please give me a call. And the second half of the year's got to be better than the first.